technologies, next generation thinking, next generation insights. And she's inspiring us all to say, look guys, don't think small picture, think big picture. And you will hear from some of our resource persons the next big picture thing. I just want to recognize Professor Carlos Lopez, who recruited me into UNDP many years ago. You will hear some big ticket initiatives. Ahuna has also been, she's really encouraging us to get into the Africa free trade agreement issue and put UNDP's muscle behind this, which we can and will.
Thank you for being my leader. Embarrassing because this today is certainly not about Ahuna, but Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama, Your Excellency, the former President of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan, daughter of the soil, Your Excellency, my dear brother, have of course Dr. Ibn Chambers, chief, former colleagues, participants today, the ministers, deputy ministers, presidential advisors, I think we also have in the and of course all members of the functional executives of the National Democratic Congress, distinguished senior leaders, UNDP family in Ghana and beyond, dear partners, greetings, good morning. Participants today, I woke up this morning with the weight of history in my mind, something that I have come to take for granted as a West African, and that is that I woke up in a country that led the trail. Senior leaders, UNDP family in Ghana and beyond, dear partners, greetings, good morning. I woke up this morning with the weight of history in my mind, something that I have come to take for granted as a West African, and that is that I woke up in the country that led the trail in independence from colonialism. Ghana being the first to distinguish itself in gaining independence at that time. That we shouldn't take for granted, but it's something for me this morning about why Ghana and why today, as we undertake a journey to reimagine leadership in a reset Ghana, and indeed a reset world. I think the question is, can Ghana do it again? Can Ghana be the first to lead this beautiful continent of ours towards economic sovereignty? To you, Your Excellency, the President, I want to offer heartfelt congratulations on your election to the highest office of the land. Your leadership comes at a pivotal moment in our world, but also here in Ghana, and we want the land. Your leadership comes at a pivotal moment in our world, here in Ghana, and we want
building the future. To Her Excellency, the Vice President, who is not with us here today, but I'm sure is here in spirit. We celebrate a milestone that inspires all, but also future generations, and underscores the nation's commitment to gender equality and the empowerment of women. To the honorable ministers and deputy ministers and all participants, we applaud your appointments and the trust placed in you to steer Ghana into the right direction in terms of its development trajectory, especially in times such as this. 2 years ago, Your Excellency, I tasked my team to develop a regional leadership program for countries that are moving into transformation and transition. This was born out of the realization that Africa's transformation will require bold, ambitious, transformational, and adaptive leadership. With the global shifts now, including in the governance of development assistance, the imperative for Africa's leadership has never been more urgent. As you know, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, development cooperation is shrinking, as is multilateralism. What we all knew before as being in a global village where solidarity mattered is no longer to be taken for granted. And therefore, an important moment for all leaders on this continent to wake up and stand up for what they must do to sustain the future of their citizens. This executive leadership program, therefore, exemplifies the shared commitment between the government of Ghana and UNDP to foster transformative leadership as the cornerstone of sustainable development in times of turmoil. We deeply appreciate this partnership and also the commitment that the Ghana government has shown. Ghana stands at a critical juncture in its development journey, one that demands bold leadership to navigate both long-standing challenges and emerging global uncertainties and complexities. Since the return of multi-party democracy in 1992, Ghana has emerged as a beacon of stability and progress in West Africa and in all of Africa, especially in its economic, democratic, and human development records. Ghana's economy has grown from $7 billion in 92 to $78.1 billion in 2024, with periods of remarkable expansion driven by prudent reforms, natural resource management, and private sector growth. Ghana has also demonstrated 5 peaceful political transitions, a vibrant civil society, and strong institutions like the Electoral Commission and the judiciary, who have cemented Ghana's reputation as a democratic model. Near universal primary enrollment of 98%, decline in poverty rate, and improved healthcare access reflect your commitment to inclusive growth. Yet, as we celebrate these achievements, we must also confront hard truths. Despite growth, income inequality persists, with the top 10% earning 33% of national income. Ghana is experiencing a growing youth unemployment, almost 20%, with those in urban areas being worse off. The situation is also quite dire in relation to debt to GDP ratios, which at the moment exceeds 90% and constrain fiscal space for development. Global shocks from COVID-19 to geopolitical tensions have exposed vulnerabilities in a commodity-dependent economy, prompting the leadership of this country to reflect on a reset about the structure of its economy. Climate change, technological disruptions, and geopolitical shifts demand that we collectively rethink how we lead ourselves and others in a growing, unpredictable world. This is not a moment for incrementality. Resetting Ghana requires leaders who are prepared to invest in breakthrough moments. And I want to highlight a couple of the things in my own reflection that I think would be necessary to guide this reflection. One is leaders who think systemically, addressing poverty, climate, and governance as interconnected challenges. Leaders who go beyond managing poverty to promoting wealth and prosperity. The second is leaders who govern with courage, making tough choices to rebuild trust. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, this past week, we saw the passing of a great man, Pope Francis. I was struck by the reflection on his life and the fact that he had been so sick and doctors had said, be careful, don't go out and greet people, save your breath. And he went the opposite, out there to